Hi my peepers, welcome to Shalene's Creativity Room. This is a weekly reads. I know I'm a week or two behind because the Olympics were on. And so I would watch all the Olympics that were live during the day that I possibly could. And then after dinner I would sit down and I would read all night. So that's what I did, and now the Olympics are over, and hold on, I gotta sneeze. Okay, so normally I take off the month of August from social media, which just means me making videos, and because I used to do daily videos every morning. So I would take off a whole month, and I would take off a whole month from Zooms. So I am still doing that, but because I was in Zooms and doing stuff during the Olympics and I couldn't read all day, I switched it. So I started yesterday, and I don't go back until September 16th, I believe is the date, when I'll be back in the Zooms. So the only Zoom I will be in is this weekend, is my cross stitch weekend Zoom. That's the only one I'll be going in. I'm not doing my craft and clean on Mondays. It's open for anybody else. I just won't be in there. And I host a crafty Wednesday Zoom. I won't be in there, but it will be open again. So, and all the Zooms that I used to go in, during the week of other people's Zooms, I won't be in for a month. So yeah, so started yesterday, and I don't go back till September 16th. It's awesome. It's always a nice refresh for me. So because I'm no longer doing my morning videos, and I do this video once a week, and I am going to be doing my Floss 2 video once a month instead of weekly. I'm still going to keep doing this and my Floss 2 video because they don't take much time. This one here, this is going to be a long one because I have 9 books to talk about. Is that all of them? Must be. Yeah. So this is all of them. And so I guess you call it booktube, is a little bit different than others. What I do is I will show you the book. I will read the description of the book, and then I'll tell you what I rated it. Mine are short and sweet reviews because I don't like spoilers, and I'm always afraid I'll spoil something. So mine are short. My reviews are always short. So let's get started. And none of these are in any particular order. I'm just going to show you. Okay, I did a lot on my Kindle. And I also, this is a Kindle Fire. They no longer make Kindle Fires. And I don't want a paperwhite because the paperwhites, the cover of the book is black and white. You can't have Audible on it. You can't have any of that. I can on this. So I had bought 2 tablets a couple years ago for my grandsons when they're here. They no longer use them. So I took one today and I made it my own. I took off all the gaming apps that were on it. I took everything off, and I changed it over into my name, and I put the Kindle app on it, the Audible app, the Chirp, Kobo, Libby, and I gotta put Hoopla on it. I forgot to do that. So that is being made into my own new Kindle. This I think I'm just going to use for my NetGalley books and review books. Those will be on here, but I'm only going to use that for everything else. So I'll probably end up taking Audible off of this, and Libby, maybe it will make this a little bit faster because right now this is so slow. And so then I went and I ordered a different cover for it, one that has a cover like this. And so I need to order more stickers for that one, and I ordered screen protector. It really doesn't need one now, but yeah, so I'm just going to use this for my NetGalley books, and then everything else will be for that until this dies. And I do have another one like this. It's still in a box. It's never been used. I don't know how good that'll be later on down the road. We'll find out. But yeah, so let's get started. So as far as the arcs this month that I read, and I will read the descriptions from this. So we need to go to Book Mori. I love Book Mori. I do need to go in because I just finished a book. I am so excited about having a month off because I'm going to get so much done on reading. That's the goal. Now, you know, sometimes life happens, not in the way we want it to. Yep. Okay. So the first book that I'm going to show you is Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. Okay, library, downloaded. Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. This is, I think, the third book of a series. I want to hold it up so you can see it better. Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. It's a sports romance, so he is a hockey player and she is a volleyball player. So I need to go back into July to find it. And here is the description. Did I bring my glasses in here? Did I not bring my glasses? Hold on. Did you miss me? I was gone for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I walked past them several times. They were on my kitchen table. I even looked outside where I was sitting when I was reading. Couldn't find them anywheres. Okay. Description of Wicked Serve. Wicked Serve. Grace Riley. He's my brother's biggest hockey rival, but he's bringing the heat for me. Sparkling prose and delicious tension. Grace Riley is the queen of sports romance. Stephanie Archer. That's what Stephanie Archer says. So, a spicy brothers rival hockey romance, perfect for fans of Hannah Grace, Liz Tomford, and Elsie Silver. Nikolai is the hockey player. He says, hockey is my life and I need to make this last season count. But when I'm forced to transfer to rival school McKee University for my senior year, I risk pissing off the captain, who happens to be the older brother of Isabel Callahan, the gorgeous beam of sunshine I messed around with in secret this summer. Rekindling our fling could risk her brother icing me off the team, not to mention the fact that my scarred past makes having a real relationship impossible. And yet the moment I see Isabel again, all my wild burning feelings come rushing back. Izzy is the sister. I have 2 goals for sophomore year. Win back my old volleyball position and forget I ever knew devilishly handsome hockey defenseman Nikolai Abney Volkov. As the youngest and only daughter in a family full of athletes, failure isn't an option. But when Nick crashes back into my life, I can't stay away from his broody charm. I'm determined to guard my heart this time, but between the furtive hookups and the heartfelt conversation, the lines between friends with benefits and more begin to blur. As we fall deeper into a place we can't come back from unscathed, we'll have to make a choice. Fight for a future together or watch it go up in flames. I gave this 4 stars. I really liked Nikolai and Izzy. I liked them together. They really liked each other a lot. You could tell. She didn't want her brother to know. He didn't want her brother to know because they were rivals, and now they're becoming friends. So he's afraid of ruining that. Really good. I enjoyed it a lot. So we can go in and delete that off of here. Okay. I read The Haunted Child by Dawn Merriman. It is book 4. I read book 3. I did not read books 1 and 2. And let's see here. The Haunted Child. Description. A young mother is being framed for a crime she didn't commit, and only I can free her. I'm Rylan Flynn. I hunt for ghosts and restless spirits and solve the mysteries that make them haunt the living. The police found Andrea Evans with a bloody knife in her hands and her boyfriend dead at her feet, but she swears she's innocent. And I can tell from the desperation in her eyes that she's telling the truth. I first met Andrea at Camp Lakewood when we were just kids. That summer wasn't meant to be one to remember, with hikes in the forest and canoeing on the lake. Instead, it's one I try to forget, because Camp Lakewood is the place I saw a ghost for the very first time. The ghost of a murdered girl. My longtime crush, Ford Pierce, was also at camp that year. Today, he is the detective who arrested Andrea. Ford is certain she's guilty, and he warns me off. But if he's wrong, the real killer is still walking free. As I begin to investigate, everything seems to lead me back to camp. How is Andrea's case linked to the summer we shared, and to that other killing decades ago? To free Andrea and reunite her with her child, I must return to Camp Lakewood, even if that means coming face to face with the darkest and deadliest secrets of my past. With jaw-dropping twists, mesmerizing suspense, and a touch of romance, the Rylan Flynn series is your new paranormal mystery obsession. And I gave this 4 stars. So, yeah, we find out that this reminds me of the show The Ghost Whisperer. So she helps some of them pass over, go to the light, and yeah, she's trying to help solve this murder, and she goes back to where the murder took place to see if she can find the ghost of the man who was killed, and he can tell her who killed him. This was really good. I enjoyed it. I like the Ghost Whisperer type series, and the cop in this does like her as well. So she's had a crush on him for years, and we're finding out he does like her. So yeah, I liked that. Okay, and I read This Is Why We Lied. I want to tell you when these come out too, but oh, there it is. So, Wicked Serve came out today. The Haunted Child comes out on the 16th. Now we're on This Is Why We Lied by Karen Slaughter. It is the 12th book of the Will Trent series. I've only read one other book in the Will Trent series, and I liked that, but I have not read them all, and I did not start at the first one, so I do want to eventually read this series if I remember. But, hold on. So This Is Why We Lied. The next thrilling suspense featuring Will Trent and Sarah Linton from Karen Slaughter, New York Times bestselling author of Pretty Girls and After That Night. Everyone here is a liar, but only one of us is a killer. A secluded cabin retreat for GBI investigator Will Trent and medical examiner Sarah Linton. McAlpine Lodge seems like the ideal getaway to celebrate their honeymoon. Set on a gorgeous, off-the-grid mountaintop property, it's the perfect place to unplug and reconnect, until a bone-chilling scream cuts through the night. A murderer in their midst. Mercy McAlpine, the manager of the lodge, is dead, with a vicious storm raging and the only access road to the property washed out. The murderer must be someone on the mountain. But as Will and Sarah investigate the McAlpine family and the other guests, they realize that everyone here is lying. Lying about their past, lying to their family, lying to themselves. Who killed Mercy McAlpine? It soon becomes clear that normal rules don't apply at McAlpine Lodge, and Will and Sarah are going to have to watch their step at every turn. Trapped on the resort, they must untangle a decades-old web of secrets to discover what happened to Mercy. And with the killer poised to strike again, the trip of a lifetime becomes a race against the clock. And I gave this 4 stars. So, yeah, Will Trent is an investigator, and he's on his honeymoon. To get to this cabin, you have to hike. There's only one small roadway, and that's for the people that work there and deliveries. So Mercy is the manager, and her family owns this place, and they treat her like a shit. They are nasty to her. They put her down every chance they can get. She has an ex-husband. She has a son with him. He also works there. Her son lives there. Yeah, how they treated this woman was just horrible. And then we find out there's some twists and turns in there. A couple of them I saw coming, some I didn't. If you like murder mysteries, if you like the Will Trent, I've never watched the Will Trent TV show, so I don't know if you know how close it is to it, but I liked this book a lot. And this one comes out on the 20th of August. Okay, so another NetGalley book that I read for review is Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. Let me see if I can find it. I don't have the real cover of what it looks like on here, but this is the description. The hardest thing for a paranormal conspiracy theorist and a web series producer to believe in is finding love in the swoony debut romantic comedy. Haley Barrett's life has imploded after she's dumped by her hotshot ex, who also happens to be her co-worker and the star of the online series she was producing. Without a new show to present for the company competition, she'll be out of a job, but inspiration can come from the strangest places. Like the most handsome guy she's ever seen passionately discussing Bigfoot on a late-night docuseries. Hayden Hargrove made a name for himself as a cryptid expert on his hit podcast and is intrigued by the plucky blue-haired producer who offers him the opportunity to lead his own web show. When the production team sees that Hayden's solo on-screen presence is bad enough to make a ghost blanch, Haley jumps on camera too, hitting him and his cryptids with a healthy dose of skepticism and enough chemistry to electrify their show to the top of the competition. As Hayden and Haley investigate the unknown, they unearth feelings for each other that shake their beliefs to the core. In their search for Mothman, aliens, and the truth, the most elusive discovery might just be learning to love again. 4 stars. Oh, yeah. So, he had this podcast about Bigfoots and aliens and UFOs and all that. She doesn't believe any of it. She doesn't believe in ghosts, nothing. And he's going to prove her wrong. So she does this competition against her ex to get this show online. And he's stumbling because he doesn't look up at the camera. He's used to being on a podcast. So he's constantly looking down at his papers and never looking up. So she goes in front of the camera to get this going. And the chemistry between them and the banter between them had me laughing so much out loud. I highly recommend this. So it's got romance. It's got the paranormal in it. Check it out. I thought it was pretty good. This doesn't come out until August 20th. Now, I did start another book. It's By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult. It comes out August 20th. Let's see if I can find it because I DNF'd this. Was the book bad? No, it just was not for me. By Any Other Name. So I quit reading it. By Any Other Name, Jodi Picoult. So let me read the description to you, and you can decide if you like it, because it's not my cup of tea. Two women, centuries apart, one of whom is the real author of Shakespeare's plays, are both forced to hide behind another name to make their voices heard. In 1581, Amelia Bassano, like most young women of her day, is allowed no voice of her own. But as the Lord Chamberlain's mistress, she has access to all theater in England and finds a way to bring her work to the stage secretly. And yet, creating some of the world's greatest dramatic masterpieces comes at great cost. By paying a man for the use of his name, she will write her own out of history. In the present, playwright Melina Green has just written a new work inspired by the life of her Elizabethan ancestor Amelia Bassano. Although the challenges are different 400 years later, the playing field is still not level for women in theater. Would Melina, like Amelia, be willing to forfeit her credit as author just for a chance to see her work performed? Told in intertwining narratives, the sweeping tale of ambition, courage, and desire asks what price each woman is willing to pay to see their work live on, even if it means they will be forgotten. This was not my type of book, so I read like maybe 20% of it, and I couldn't. It just was not for me. I love Jodi Picoult. Every book I have ever read of hers, I've never put down, so I thought I would really, really like this, but no, it's not for me. And it comes out August 20th. Okay, I read 3 books from Kindle Unlimited. The Sacrifice by Chantal Tessier. So this is the third book of the Lords series. They are a bully, dark romance. And let me tell you, if you have any twiggers, why can't I say it? Trigger warnings. If you have any triggers, you need to find all the warnings for this book. I don't have any, so I can read all these with no problem. The Sacrifice. So this is the 3rd book in the series, and 5 stars because I love this series. And when you get done reading these, the first book is The Ritual. When you get done reading these, you sit back going, what the fuck did I just read? Who in their right mind would like these books? They're addictive. It's like seeing a car wreck, and you have to look. So with these, you just have to keep reading because, holy shit. And yes, it is a form of bullying, but no, this is really good. So, the description says, his ladya lord is to marry after he graduates from Barrington University, an elite college for the rich. A lady's job is to help him fit into a world unaware of his secret society. The Lord does not get to choose who he spends the rest of his life with, but there is always an exception to the rule, and I just so happen to be his. I vow, you vow, we vow. I was to wed a lord of my parents' choosing. Wealth can't buy you everything, or I would have had freedom years ago. Instead, my strict parents made sure I lived a dull life in a mansion resembling a prison. But on my wedding day, I was handed over to another man, an even more ruthless lord that my family hated. Tyson Riley Crawford only wanted me for his revenge. I'm nothing more than a debt to be paid. I didn't have a say in the matter, so when I said my vows before the congregation, I knew I'd break them. Consequences be damned. Too bad I underestimated my husband and didn't realize he was more determined to punish me than I was to exceed at escaping. He'll make me choke on those words. I used to bind myself to him, yet even he couldn't have seen what our future held. Ultimately, we are all just pawns in a game that none of us can win unless you're willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice, and even that may not be enough. Very smutty. I mean, there's lots of sex, bondage, all that kind of stuff. It's, yeah, I can't get enough of this series, you guys. I just can't. I can't. So that was the third book. Then the next book, right after I read that, was the fourth book. It was called Carnage by Chantal Tessier. Yeah, Carnage. So Carnage says, a puppet the men in the secret society known as the Lords think they rule the world, and in a way they do. Each has sold their soul to the devil at a young age in exchange for power and wealth. Like anything else, they have different levels of success. The more they are willing to serve, the more power they have. Among them are the Spade brothers, who run Carnage. It's where the lords who have not held up their oath go to live out the rest of their lives in shackles, tucked away from the world as if they never existed. I vow, you vow, we vow. I once belonged to a lord, Saint Beckham Carter. Although nothing was holy about him, I still kneeled as if he could grant me eternity in a world where only evil existed. At the time, I willingly vowed to be his and allowed him to share me with his brothers. But things changed, and what I thought couldn't get any better got exceptionally worse. So I did the only thing I could and ran from him, knowing I could never return. Now he's found me and dragged me back to his hell, where he will make me his pet. The world already thinks I'm dead, so no one will miss me, and I'm just another name on a long list of those who will never know freedom. What he doesn't know is why I ran from him in the first place. A lord doesn't listen to reason, so it's not like he'd care anyway. Saint was born a lord, and he will die as one. If life has taught me anything, it's that we all pay for our sins. And Saint will never let me forget that my place is at Carnage, serving him on my knees until death is granted. 5 stars. This was the darkest of the other 3. Yeah, you're going into the world of the Spade brothers, and they are the worst of the worst. I couldn't put this down. The next book is about Hayden, and I forget when that comes out. it's not, when does it come out? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, we're going to do Chantal Tessier. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. I will find out for you, though. We will go into Fantastic Fiction, Chantal Tessier, and the next book is called Madness, and this one comes out in December. Madness. So that's the one after this, and it's about Hayden. I liked Saint, but I really, really, really liked Hayden in this. I have a feeling, because right now, Riot, in the first book called The Ritual, he's my book boyfriend. But I have a feeling Hayden may override that. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I'm loving this series so, so much. Let's see. What else did I read? Oh, I forgot to tell you this one. King of Flames. This was also from NetGalley. It is Catherine Ann Kingsley, which I've been reading another series of hers. This is the first book of a new series. And I forgot to tell you about this one. Book calendar. Is that it? So King of Flames. Everything about my life has been pretty normal, working as a forensic autopsy technician, until the day I woke up with a mysterious symbol tattooed on my arm. Suddenly, normal no longer existed. The barrier between Earth and a world called Under dissolved. Now I'm trapped with dozens of other people, held prisoner by the creators of myths and legends, where the realm is ruled by two masked kings who want to turn us into creatures like them. But even though I didn't choose to be here, this new world manages to pull me deeper, affecting me differently than other humans. Unfortunately, King Edu, also known as the King of Flames, notices this, and I'm now considered a threat. If I want to survive King Edu and the dangers of Under, I need to escape. The only problem is there's another masked king who seems to have an interest in me. Aeon, the King of Shadows, wants me here in this world, and he wants me alive. I just need to figure out why. I gave it 4 stars. So her and her friend end up with these symbols on them. And they're taken from Earth. They're humans. They're taken and down to Under. And there's a lot of other people there. And each one gets thrown into like a vat of water. And you come out as some kind of creature. But she doesn't. And so now they don't know what to do with her. I ate this book up. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it. Yes, and the cover, look at that. It is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And this doesn't come out until August 26th. But yeah, if you like fantasy, paranormal, romance, it's all in here. And this is book 1 of the new series. Oh yeah, and a lot of them have these masks on their face. And if you have a mask, it means you're like a higher power. Okay. And I just finished another Kindle Unlimited, and it is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Oh, this has been all over TikTok, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll try it. We'll try it. Yeah. Do not touch the sword. Do not turn the key. Do not open the gate. In the land of the unforgiven desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Cirrus Fane is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses, or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like a knot. Sooner or later, it is bound to come undone. When Cirrus comes face to face with Death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares, but it turns out they are real, and Cirrus has landed herself right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Yvelia in over 1,000 years, Cirrus mistakenly binds herself to the Kingfisher, a handsome Fey warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist's magic to protect his people, no matter what it costs him or her. Death has a name. It is Kingfisher of the Aegean Gate. His past is murky, his attitude stinks, and is the only way Cirrus is going to make it home. Be careful of the deals you make, dear child. Yeah, the devil is in the details. Quicksilver contains depictions of graphic violence, adult situations, and is therefore recommended for readers 17+. For a full list of tropes and trigger warnings, please visit the author's website. So she comes from this place where the water is rationed, and she tries to steal it, and she steals other things. And she has a brother who gets into a lot of trouble, and she tries to get him out of it. And there's a guy named Carrion that she had sex with, but she doesn't like him. She can't stand him. But she ends up in this other realm with Kingfisher. Now, when I've seen this all over TikTok, everybody gushes about Kingfisher. I got to 50%. I could not stand him. He was an arrogant asshole. No. Why do these women like him? No. Yeah, after about 60%, you start liking him more and more and more. I wanted them together. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this. There's witches and vampires and fairies and, yeah, all in one book. Awesome. Fantasy, paranormal, romance, lots of sex. Yeah. Check it out. Quicksilver. I believe it's a new book. The cover's gorgeous. A lot of these covers are gorgeous. I just want to own the books for the covers. So what's next? Oh no, I have one more book to show you because it's an actual book. Home is Where the Bodies Are. Look at this. It looks like a VHS tape. There's some blood splattered. Yeah. Home is Where the Bodies Are. So this says, from New York Times best-selling author of The Perfect Marriage and You Shouldn't Have Come Here comes a chilling family thriller about the sometimes literal skeletons in the closet. After their mother passes, three estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. Beth, the oldest, never left home. She stayed with her mom, caring for her until the very end. Nicole, the middle child, has been kept at arm's length due to her ongoing battle with a serious drug addiction. Michael, the youngest, lives out of state and hasn't been back to their small Wisconsin town since their father ran out on them 7 years before. While going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit those happier memories. However, the nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night back in 1999 that none of them have any recollection of. On screen, their father appears covered in blood. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it. Before the video abruptly ends, Beth, Nicole, and Michael must now decide whether to leave the past in the past or uncover the dark secret their mother took to her grave. I gave this 4 stars. It's not real thick. I was hooked on this right from the very beginning. It was part of a book club that I'm in on Facebook. This was the book of the month. So I ended up purchasing it because the wait list on Libby was forever. And for what you pay for a Kindle, you might as well buy the book. So that's why I bought the book. I don't like paying for Kindle unless they're like $2-3. Because sometimes they're the same price as a paperback or a hardcover. Very good. Some of the things I did not see coming. I was a little surprised of who the killer was. I was thinking it was someone else. So, yeah. Recommend this if you like murder mysteries. And what's next for me? So that's everything I've read so far. Hold on. Okay, so the next books that I'm going to read till the end of the month is the rest of the Throne of Glass series. So I have, I think, 4 more to read. So the next one is Queen of Shadows, Sarah J. Maas. It's a thick one. So I will be listening to this. It is on audiobook on YouTube. To get it through Libby was going to take months. But you can listen to this on YouTube. So during the day when I'm stitching, I will be listening to this. And then at night, after dinner, I'll read it. And they are listed by chapter in the audiobooks when you listen to them. So it's easy to listen and to read. So this is the 4th book. And then the 5th book is Empire of Storms. And I'll do the same thing with that. That's not as thick of a book. And I don't own the other 2. So I'll just listen to those on audiobook on YouTube. So that's my plan for the next 2 weeks. Because this one's a thick one. This is going to take a few days. And then this. And then there's 2 more. And the other 2 are called... Sarah J. Maas. So the next 2, so that was Empire of Storms. Tower of Dawn is the 6th book, and then the 7th book is Kingdom of Ash. So those are the 4 that I will be reading. So I'm not going to buy them just because to get these covers that were the original covers, for me to get them, they're like $80 a piece. I'm not paying that much. And I don't want to buy the other 2 that don't match these. So, yeah. That's what I will be doing. And then after that series, we will go in and we will read September's September's NetGalley books. So in September, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I have 7. I have 7 books. So one of them is an ARC from NetGalley. I also got I was on the PR team, so I got the physical book in the mail, and I also got the audio book from NetGalley. So I'm going to listen to it, and then I'll do a review. But I have 3 books out of this 9 that are... No, I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 books from NetGalley. 3 of them are blog tours. So, yeah, I have 2 of them that come out on September 3rd. So I need to read those first. And one of them is the one I have as an audio. So, I'm going to try to get to that around the 25th. And then I'll start the rest of these. So if I don't get to all of these by the 25th of the month, then I will go and I will do all of my NetGalley books, and then I'll go back and finish these. So yeah, I might not have a lot to show you next week, because this weekend I won't get probably any reading in. It's a cross stitch weekend, so I pretty much, that's all I do is I stitch and sit with my friends in Zoom. So I probably won't get any reading in. But I'm going to get as many of these done as I can. And then we'll go from there. So how have you guys been doing? I will have the links below to all of the books I talked about on Amazon. They are my affiliate links. I am an affiliate with Amazon. So it's no cost to you. You just pay the same price. I just make a couple cents off. I don't make much. So, yeah, that's it for today. I want to know how you guys are doing. Have you been reading any of the books that I have been reading? And what out of these do you plan on reading? Let me know down in the comments below. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.